sorted things out by running Al Jorgensen's voice through like several different fuzz boxes and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And
Sure.
you know, they were like early pioneers on this kind of thing way before you could just like download an app on your computer to like do the filter kind of thing.
Right.
And yeah, it took a lot of talent and time to figure stuff like that out back in the day.
Yeah. I think finding workarounds is actually part of the talent too. You know, like one side of the coin is like playing the instrument itself or whatever. The other side of it is if you can actually find a way to make something work, and if that's finding a way to process it a certain way or whatever to be entertaining to people, there's a certain amount of talent that's required in that as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, with punk rock, that do-it-yourself attitude,
Absolutely.
You know, taking stuff away from the gatekeepers, and circumventing the record companies and getting around that. Like, you know, the Shame the Masses song, you know, one of the lyrics there is the ghost in the machine was the injection of our dreams.
Yep, that's right.
And, you know, people of this generation, you know, we have the internet, and we've got digitized tools and studios that don't require tens of thousands of dollars of tape to make a recording, and all of the stuff that those guys in the early rock and roll era of the 50s and 60s, you know, were trying to overcome, and all the stuff that came out of the 70s and the hardcore scene in the 80s. Like, technology has given us like their do-it-yourself wet dream. Basically, they could have never fathomed the opportunities that we have to create and have the ability to distribute and everything that we have now. It's not even something that they would have contemplated, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
There's no question. Yeah, no question. I mean, let's face it, in the 80s, the 90s, and even the early 2000s, in order to reach a wide listenership, you had to. There's no question about it. You had to go through a label for everything. You know, the label would provide you, you know, funding up front, and then you had to, you know, pay back on that basically. Nowadays, it's a different story. You know, you can DIY on everything. You are your own label. Literally, you are your own label on everything. You record your own music. You play your own music. You record your own music. You put it out yourself. You are your own label. That's all there is to it. I mean, you literally do it all yourself. So it's a 180-degree difference from what the world was 20 or 30 years ago. You know.
Right. That's it's kind of one of those mixed bag things, because this democratization of music, where suddenly through the accessibility of all these personal computers, you know, almost anybody can, you know, record whatever they want and do it in a professional or semi-professional manner. That's great. But at the same time, it's like one of those things where you don't have this all of a sudden, like record label picks you up and pours tons of money into you anymore. It's like kind of forcing a lot of musicians to do all the legwork themselves. And I think it's, like you said, a little bit of a mixed bag, but I do think that overall it's for the better, because you don't have like this just select few top 10 records who are getting all the money nowadays. Yeah,
without a doubt. I mean, when you go through a label is filtering, you know, what they're putting out to the world. And a label says, you know, this is good, but this is not good. Well, who the hell says what is good and what isn't good? That's not true, you know.
Because they're trying to market it instead of just letting the artist do what he wants to.
You're looking at it from a business standpoint. Well, who the fuck says artist is business? I mean, it is, but it's not. You know, I mean, in order to make money, it's business, but in order to entertain people, you're you know, somebody says what's good and what's not. It doesn't matter if that's going to make a lot of money or not. People like it or they don't like it. You know.
Yeah, it's very cool in the sense of giving even the general public a much wider range of things to listen to, you know, online through a lot of the streaming services and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's brought a lot of indie artists to the forefront that were not able to be there before. You know, if you were not a major label artist, you just couldn't participate. You know, you weren't out there.